Hello everybody, welcome to another video. On today's video, we're going to be talking about the Iron Lung made by Markiplier. It's so weird saying that, but that's what it's marketed as. It's marketed as made by Markiplier. The director is Markiplier. The writer is Markiplier. The producer, I'm pretty sure, is Markiplier. And, well, I think there's like 3 producers. And even the star of the movie is Markiplier. It's all Markiplier. And so I'm going to say what the movie's about first before I say my verdict. The movie is about basically this guy named Simon, played by Markiplier, going into a submarine into a new it's like a planet with where the ocean is blood, and they're trying to investigate it and stuff like that for something for humanity. He goes into it, a submarine going into the ocean, and he's just trying to get this task done to get himself free from his prison, basically, because he's a prisoner. For what we don't know why he's in prison. They kind of reveal some of it in the movie, and I'm not gonna talk about it because one of the things that Markiplier said at a Q&A is just please don't spoil stuff. So this is the first time I'm not gonna really spoil anything for a movie review because I'm always like a person that likes to talk freely, but with this movie I would like to not do it because just in favor of Markiplier because he is such a respectful person, right? First, I want to say this movie is impressive for a self-financed movie. I was pleasantly shocked compared to all the other YouTuber movies. Of course, I would say there's only like 3 good YouTuber movies, what is it? Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, and I'm pretty sure the Scream movies are made by YouTubers too. I didn't even know that. I'm pretty sure they are, but either way, it's impressive, and I think this is the best fully marketed YouTuber movie. Because this one literally just slaps Markiplier on the name, right? I think this movie's good. I think I actually liked it a lot. I can see why a lot of people won't like this, though. So if you're not a fan of, the original Iron Lung game and you don't really care for Markiplier, you're probably not gonna like this movie. Because it is a very, very slow burn horror movie. It is definitely, psychological horror. It starts off really slow, and I never mind that. I never really cared, but I can see why most people wouldn't like that at all, for sure. If you're into, the more fast-paced horror movies, you're not going to get that out of this, and you're probably not going to like it. But if you're a fan of Markiplier, you might pleasantly like it, because it's Markiplier, he's in the movie the entire time. And I want to give a shout-out to, all the other, the other actors and voice actors. You do see, you do see one of the other actors in this, and that's pretty much it. But you can hear Troy Baker, you can hear Esley, I don't know how to say her name, sorry, Lovelock. You can hear all of them, and they did a really good job. I think they all did a really good job. I think even Markiplier did a good job with his acting. There are some points where I didn't really feel him as much, maybe because he's just Markiplier, so I'm just like, oh, it's just Markiplier. But sometimes it was just it just felt kind of over the top, or it's just again, it could just be because I'm associating him with Markiplier. So now, to, the visual effects and stuff, I'm not gonna give too much away. There are a lot of creepy scenes with the camera and stuff like that. I think the cinematography in this movie, by the way, is amazing. Even though this is, a $2 million budget, I think it was. I don't know how low budget it was. It looks really nice for how low budget this movie is. It looks really spectacular. In the beginning, it does look a little weird, but then when you're in the submarine, and I get that it's only one room, so it is probably cheap, but it just looks really nice. I think the cinematography just is comparable to studio productions. I don't think it's gonna blow your socks off or anything, but it looks nice. It looks pretty. It's a pretty looking movie. And I do love the practical effects in this movie. There is practical effects that I will not leave or anything like that, but you probably know what it is if you know Iron Lung. But the practical effects, I think, are nice in this movie. I think they look really neat, and I'm always a sucker for practical effects, so I always like it. And just, the shots of him taking a picture, and then you just see something, and stuff like that, I think is such a cool concept. And I did notice a few times where there's stuff in the background that is not even on camera, and you can still see it up in the background. I'm just like, that is so neat. I love that. And I'm sure that's something that a lot of people won't notice in the theaters. I do think the movie could be a little shorter if you really wanted to target that audience of, just enjoying it even though it's a slow burn horror movie. Either way, I don't think it would fix it. It's not I didn't, dislike it just because it was a little too long. I personally was fine with it. I didn't really care. But I could see how some people would say, it could be a little shorter, because it is a 2-hour movie. That's something that shocked me. I was so surprised to see that this movie was 2 hours long. I was incredibly shocked, but maybe it's better that way. I get to see more of Markiplier for 2 hours, you know? One thing I do also want to point out, I love the soundtrack of this movie. The soundtrack reminds me of, like, a horror version of Doom, like my friend described, like, earlier. It does, like, there are some tracks in here that do sound like a horror version of Doom, and I really love it. I'm not comparing it to Doom or anything like that, because it's definitely an original thing, but it just sounds really nice. I forgot who did it. I think it was Andrew or someone. I don't know how to say your last name. I'm so sorry. But you did such a good job with the soundtrack, and I really enjoyed it. Especially in the movie, it's really enjoyable. So, like, the soundtrack for some of the scenes are just so perfect. I think the sound design is great. Some people didn't like it with the, there are some parts where it is kind of hard to understand, I guess, because the speaker does some things from Markiplier. I personally got it. I personally got most of it. I personally got most of what it was trying to say, especially if I didn't hear it and then Markiplier responded to it and I'm like, oh, that's what she said, or he. It never really bothered me, but I can definitely see how some people probably wouldn't get it, probably. Besides that, I thought the sound design was perfect. I thought it was really good. I don't know about perfect, but it's good. This is by no means not a perfect movie, that is for sure. It's a solid movie, though, especially for a first movie from Markiplier. He did Edge of Sleep as well, I think, the show. Personally, I think it's a really good job for a first movie. There are some people that do their first movies that are just terrible. And there's even some people that do, like, 5 movies and they're still all terrible. So that's already impressive. I really can't wait to see what else he does. I think he's going to make some great movies, for us. And I'm just so excited to see, because this is such a unique movie, concept-wise. Because it's Iron Lung, It's a unique concept, but I never liked the gameplay of the game. But it's a really nice story and lore, and I think this movie really puts it out there for some people that didn't really get it, Pretty much all I had to say. My final verdict for this movie is probably like a 7. I'm probably gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Because I did really enjoy it more than most people. I just am a sucker for psychological horror, so I really enjoyed it. But I can definitely see some people not. Okay, that's all I'm just gonna say. So if you're not a slow burn horror movie guy, probably don't see this movie unless you like Markiplier. Thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.